Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'm going to be teaching you guys 5 ways that you can get better at drawing. These are going to be very simple exercises that you can do every day, every other day, whenever you feel like improving your line work specifically. And this is going to help you improve everywhere else in terms of drawing, because you're going to be able to control the motion of drawing a lot better than you did before. All you're going to be needing for these exercises are some sheets of paper and a pencil, and let's try and avoid using erasers as much as possible. Before we get started, just wanted to remind you guys to like and subscribe to my channel to see more content from me. Let's get into the video. So our first exercise is really simple. It's just to practice getting straight lines, and this is really going to help you draw a lot of objects and just become more confident with your straight lines. You can do these horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, however you want, and the bigger, the longer the movement, the best. The idea is for you to use your elbow, your arm to do the line, not your wrist. Now, there is another alternative for this drawing exercise, and it is to mark 2 spots on your paper and then try to connect them both just by starting in one place, looking at the end result, and then going. Here I made a mistake, which is very obvious to why we need these types of exercises, because sometimes even whilst practicing this constantly, you still make mistakes. So the idea is to get that line from one point to the other without making the obvious mistake that I did. Again, practicing this in various directions is where the thing is. That's what you should be focusing on, because this will really help you learn and control your lines and also get some spatial awareness. And believe me when I tell you, this might seem simple, but it truly is not as simple as it may seem. Exercise number 2 is to practice circles. This might seem simple, but it is an artist's main exercise. It's something that we have to know how to do, is to draw really round and perfect circles. Obviously, they're never going to be completely perfect, but the idea is to make them as round as possible and to connect. And then you make circles inside of other circles, make bigger circles, smaller circles. The idea is to fill in the page with as many circles as possible, and this helps you learn how to do circles in smaller spaces, really tiny ones or really big ones. Again, the idea is to use your arm in the motion. As you can see, that is what I'm doing. In the smaller circles, it's okay to use your wrist, but the idea is to work with your arm. In our third exercise, we're going to put into motion what we just learned in the previous 2 exercises. The idea is to draw cylinders. So you start off by drawing a circle, and then you add the other side of the cylinder and draw them into perspective. The idea is for you to create various perspectives and angles and really warp the sides and learn what to do with the cylinders. These shapes might seem a little bit silly to you, but the reality is we use cylinders for a lot more than you might think. We use them to do body poses, like to build the body skeleton or just to start drafting the body. We use them in buildings, if you want to draw towers and castles and everything. And reality is it's a very useful shape to help us build on top of. And it also helps us get a little bit of spatial awareness as well. Now, a great way to practice with this exercise is to get a toilet paper roll and just draw what you're seeing. It basically is a cylinder that you can look through and really see the perspective, and you can angle it in different ways. You can even take pictures and work with the pictures and just really experiment and do various exercises, various angles. Try to see angles that you wouldn't usually draw, and this will really help you look at things with perspective in mind, with space in mind, and draw 2D but thinking 3D. In our 4th exercise, you're going to draw 2 horizontal lines, and in between those 2 horizontal lines, you're going to draw vertical lines. They're going to be short motions, and the idea is to do them all separated equally, so with the equal amount of space in between them. This is kind of to help you draw in a stable kind of way, and really get perception of distances between things. This can also really help with shading if you're going to do cross stitch shading. A second part to this exercise would be to do the exact same thing, but then start by drawing them really close apart, and then start gradually making them less and less closer apart, and then go back to drawing them closer and closer apart. This really helps you understand, like, the closer they are together, the more like concentrated it looks, but then the further apart they are, the lighter it seems. And again, this really helps when you're trying to cross stitch something or just shade something in. Finally, and definitely not least, we have exercise number 5. Now, this exercise consists of you drawing circles inside of planes in 3D. So you start off by drawing a square and drawing in with a circle, and then you define the direction of it. Now, you can have that direction in mind or not. I didn't have it in this moment, but I later on decided to plan that. The idea is to make these square shapes as crooked as possible so you can understand direction and how circles work inside of squares. This helps you understand how to put more organic shapes into more angular, straight shapes. And you start off with these planes, but when you're working, for example, with perspective, you're gonna have to learn how to add a ball into like a very straight perspective grid, or a human anatomy. Like, you need to know how to put a human organic looking shape into like squares and rectangles. So it really helps you understand how to do that in a 3D space. And you can see me exemplifying that with adding like a cylinder inside of a box in perspective, or just a circle inside of a box in perspective. This helps. It might not seem like, when am I going to draw like a ball inside a box? Never. But you're probably going to need that for then use it as structure for a more like detailed thing that you're gonna draw, whatever, right? You get the idea. So yeah, these were the exercises. I hope you guys try them out and let me know what you think. Let me know if you notice a difference. I definitely did notice a difference when I started doing these, but you have to do them relatively regularly and in big sheets of paper. If you guys are still here, still with me, leave a clown emoji in the comments down below. Let's see how many of you got this far. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.